Half-month-old daughter, so this will be our second, so we're going to have 2 under 2. But kind of go, I mean, I've always been pro-life. It's not, it's a philosophical thing for me. But when you go through that and you do the ultrasounds and you just hear just the heartbeat, boom, boom, boom. You see, I remember seeing my daughter's face, I don't know how long, I mean, it was not that long into the thing. I think what that technology has done is really helped us out in the pro-life movement. So that pro-lifers, I mean, Americans do not want abortion on demand. They do not want things like sex-selective abortions or late-term abortions. And so you really have, you know, the Democrats are so extreme that they are catering to like 10%, you know, but most Americans do not want to see, you know.
And I'm in my 3rd term, my 5th year up here. I'm a veterinarian by trade. Parent of 3 children, 3 healthy children. Sometimes I wanted to, as a parent, you know, you want to. Only in the teenage years though. But being a veterinarian, I did a lot of reproduction in horses. I've embryo transferred horses at 5 days of age, and that, like Dan said, when his life begins. It begins at conception. There's no doubt about it. When I can take out a living cells at 5 days and it looks like the Epcot, you know, World Center, the ball, like the golf ball, it's growing. It didn't start then. It started right before that. But when an oak tree become an oak tree?
Thank you. What Dan didn't tell you is that 23 years ago, I was about 12 years old, and Dan was about the same age he is today. But he had just taken over the Florida legislature, brought Republican control to the State House, and I was young and fired up and excited to be there with Speaker Webster. And here in the halls of Congress, when we see each other, I'll still say, you know, "Good morning, Speaker Webster." And everyone will get a little nervous and look around. But he'll always be Speaker Webster to me. And the work, here's what we need to know as Floridians. The work that we've done, the advocacy that we've engaged in, has inspired more than just our state. I remember being in the Florida legislature, and getting calls from people all over the country saying, "Well, tell us how you got the ultrasound bill passed. You know, tell us how you worked on legislation to try to block abortions after 20 weeks. What were the lessons learned?" And so, in many ways, the country looks to us. And what a blessing that God's given us to be able to show that leadership, to be that clarion call in a society that so often is degrading around the moral fabric and values that have made America so special. And so I'm proud to be a Floridian, and I'm even prouder to have so many Floridians here in Washington. I'm in my 1st year in Congress, and I can tell you that on most days when people storm the Hill, they're here for themselves. They're here for their businesses, they're here for their trade associations, and there's nothing wrong with that. We get a lot of ideas when people come here and bring their thoughts and their passions.
Here in Congress, and I'm glad to have him as my friend. He's from over on the coast, East Coast, and Bill from up
First, I want to thank you, Senator Congressman Webster, for hosting this event today. You're always at the forefront of the fight for life, and I want to thank you all for participating, each and every one of you. You are the heart. Now you're really the soul of our party. And as you've heard, you inspire so many people with your presence, with your time. It wasn't convenient for any of you to take off from what you normally do and come here today. But you did it. You did it for a good reason. You're doing the right things for the right reasons. You're helping somebody else. It's selfless. That's what's especially respected up here if you've heard some from the others. Most of the people we hear about up here, it's all about who? Me, meaning them. And for you, it's all about others. It's all about life. So just want to express my greatest gratitude to you and Congressman Webster for hosting you this morning. God bless you, each and every one of you. And please continue.
Do a group? No, I think it was better everybody sitting down. Oh, yeah, sit down. I think it was better. And then, what do you think? Tall, short.
Okay, we'll sit down. Is that good?
Sarah, come on up, okay? Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna get in. And then we'll swap. All these places. You guys, come on up. Sit down.
Linda, do you want us to take a picture?
Sure. Oh, she has a camera.
I can send you all these. Okay.
Yeah,
fill in all these empty chairs.
Well, we'll swap. We'll do 2 and then we'll swap.
Who are we looking at first?
We're looking at you.
Who are we looking at? We're looking at you?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, sit here.
All right.
Hang on, I'm coming.
All right, just waiting on a couple.
You made it. Good.
Chicken coop.
All right.
What a crowd.
Everybody was welcome.
What an honor. Thank you so much. It's great. We exceeded our. That's okay, whatever. Ready? We're looking at the female first.
Today's time they have a bad connotation for the word feminist, and then they did a speech downtown, right, trying to show that the true feminists were actually pro-life and not pro-choice.
The first feminist.
Yeah, the first real feminist.
And so what's the other side say?
What is this?
Oh, I Live.
Oh yeah, that's the, what's her name?
I'm not sure about that one. That was another lady.
Yeah.
Is that like an abortion survivor?
No.
Yes, that one is. Yeah, that one is about. What's the movie about? Yeah.
That's the one that's about it?
And about adoption too, because it says short film about adoption.
Yeah, I thought that was what it was about, adoption.
Well, you should be wearing it so you can tell me.
Oh, I have one. I have one.
She got one. We all put one.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It was nice though.
So what was the name of the girl, you remember?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, was it Jenna? There's one Jenna Jensen, there's a couple
There
others.
was one Paula.
Yeah.
Paula, she wrote a book.
They said they're making a movie.
What was the lady's name who wrote a book?
It's
Paula
the same one.
something?
It's the same girl that did this, and then there were none.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I can't
yeah.
remember his name. You should have put it on the thing.
So her movement was about how she believes that oh no. Her movement was for those who are worked in abortion clinics and they want to stop working there. They're there for their living expenses and they don't go to work. So her group is trying to find
They provide a program to replace the doctors and the abortionists who were doing the program so they can still make a living after they quit doing this.
And it, the quote saying and then there were none means that she's going to try to get everyone out of the abortion. All the doctors, all the facility workers, and then there were none.
You guys are from Venice?
No, from Florida, Jackson, Florida.
Jackson, okay.
Sent this friend, Therese.
They have all.
Okay, last year we tried them by ourselves.
I mean, I can just go by myself, but they go with
go, 'cause I'm gonna fight for you, even if I have to fight with you. That's what you gotta do when you love someone. We all love someone. Yeah! Thank you so much. This is a song called Beautifully Broken. It is also brand new. Kind of tells a story of me.
If you're having fun, keep it short, 30 seconds. All right, go for it.
So where are you from?
I am from Florida, Cape Coral, Florida.
Good. So why are you here?
To voice my opinions about pro-life.
Okay. Anything else? Are you at high school, college?
I am high school. I am a freshman.
Okay. So I thought maybe you were older.
Yeah, no. I'm only 15.
Okay, good. All right.
Thank you very much.
So who are you with?
I'm with my youth group, St. Catherine Drexel.
Okay. All right.
Lie about it. Don't lose any of these.
So where are you guys all from? Florida. Okay. Anything else?
And you only can vote
We're from Cape Coral. Cape Coral. Everyone's from Cape Coral.
Our parish is St. Catherine Drexel.
Say your number.
Okay.
What else is interesting about it?
AJ.
We're the latest
Everyone's from Cape Coral.
This is our second year coming.
All right. Good. So all right. Everyone's been here.
Well, we came here last year, but it was a smaller group. And like, there's the new people. I don't remember who are the new people that came.
So
Emily, Jake, Sebastian, Ian, Vinny.
So what does it look like on the whole? Does it look like there are about as many people as before, or more, or?
Like here?
Yeah.
I think there's more people actually.
More this year? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Everything seems more crowded, and I've seen more like Catholic groups around. Like,
why do you think more people are coming this year?
That's an interesting one. I think it's because our message is getting more widespread, and the people that spoke last year, like the Vice President spoke, and the whole thing with Trump speaking, I think people want to hear what he has to say, so I think that's why there's more people here.
Are people young? It's always been young people last year too?
Well, there are a lot of young people, but there are definitely more adults too. So the range is like, they're like of all ages, I would say.
Right. I didn't realize there'd be so many teenagers in.
Yeah.
On behalf of the board and the whole March for Life team, I would like to
there's
welcome
definitely
you to the
a lot of
annual March for Life.
Younger people are starting to realize what's right, I think, and show the world, what they believe in.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In a movement that 1 year ago tomorrow inaugurated the most pro-life president in American history, President Donald Trump. From preventing taxpayer dollars from funding abortion overseas to empowering states to respect life in Title X, nominating judges who will uphold our God-given liberties enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. This president has been a tireless defender of life and conscience in America. And today, President Trump will do even more to defend the most vulnerable in our society. My friends, life is winning in America because love saves lives. And know, as you march for life, that your compassion, your persistence, your activism, and your prayers are saving lives. And this pro-life generation should never doubt. We're with you. This president stands with you. And he who said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, is with you as well. And I believe with all of my heart, with your continued dedication and compassion, with pro-life majorities in the Congress, with President Donald Trump in this White House and with God's help, we will restore the sanctity of life to the center of American law. And so, with a grateful heart, on this 45th annual March for Life, it is now my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
Oh wait, he's here. Oh. No, it's not.
Thank you very much. What is it? Is it recording or is it live?
This is live. Over there.
Right now. Great.
Right now.
Right down the road. Tens of thousands. So I congratulate you on at least we picked a beautiful day. You can't get a more beautiful day. I want to thank our Vice President, Mike Pence, for that wonderful introduction. I also want to thank you and Karen for being true champions for life. Thank you. Thank Karen. Today I'm honored and really proud to be the first president to stand with you here at the White House to address the 45th March for Life. That's very, very special. 45th March for Life, and this is a remarkable group. Today, tens of thousands of families, students, and patrons, and really just great citizens gather here in our nation's capital. You come from many backgrounds, many places, but you all come for one beautiful cause: to build a society where life is celebrated, protected, and cherished. The March for Life is a movement born out of love. You love your families, you love your neighbors, you love our nation, and you love every child, born and unborn, because you believe that every life is sacred, that every child is a precious gift from God. We know that life is the greatest miracle of all. We see it in the eyes of every new mother who cradles that wonderful, innocent, and glorious newborn child in her loving arms. I want to thank every person here today and all across our country who works with such big hearts and tireless devotion to make sure that parents have the care and support they need to choose life. Because of you, tens of thousands of Americans have been born and reached their full God-given potential. Because of you, you're living witnesses of this year's March for Life theme, and that theme is Love Saves Lives. As you all know, Roe versus Wade has resulted in some of the most permissive abortion laws anywhere in the world. For example, in the United States, it's one of only 7 countries to allow elective late-term abortions, along with China, North Korea, and others. Right now, in a number of states, the laws allow a baby to be born from his or her mother's womb in the 9th month. It is wrong. It has to change. Americans are more and more pro-life. You see that all the time. In fact, only 12% of Americans support abortion on demand at any time. Under my administration, we will always defend the very first right in the Declaration of Independence, and that is the right to life. Tomorrow will mark exactly 1 year since I took the oath of office. And I will say our country is doing really well. Our economy is perhaps the best it's ever been. You look at the job numbers, you look at the companies pouring back into our country, you look at the stock market at an all-time high. unemployment 17-year low, unemployment for African American workers at the lowest mark in the history of our country, unemployment for Hispanic at a record low in history, unemployment for women, think of this, at an 18-year low. We're really proud of what we're doing. And during my first week in office, I reinstated a policy first put in place by President Ronald Reagan, the Mexico City policy. I strongly supported the House of Representatives' pain-capable bill, which would end painful late-term abortions nationwide. And I call upon the Senate to pass this important law and send it to my desk for signing. On the National Day of Prayer, I signed an executive order to protect religious liberty. Very proud of that. Today, I'm announcing that we have just issued a new proposal to protect conscience rights and religious freedoms of doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals. So important. I have also just reversed the previous administration's policy that restricted states' efforts to direct Medicaid funding away from abortion facilities that violate the law. We are protecting the sanctity of life and the family as the foundation of our society. But this movement can only succeed with the heart and the soul and the prayer of the people. Here with us today is Mary Anna Donadio from Greensboro, North Carolina. Where is Mary Anna? Hello, come on up here, Mary Anna. Come. Mariana was 17 when she found out she was pregnant. At first, she felt like she had no place to turn. But when she told her parents, they responded with total love, total affection, total support. Great parents? Great? I thought you were going to say. I had to be careful. Mariana bravely chose life and soon gave birth to her son. She named him Benedict, which means blessing. Mariana was so grateful for her parents' love and support that she felt called to serve those who were not as fortunate as her. She joined with others in her community to start a maternity home to care for homeless women who were pregnant. It's great. They named it Room at the Inn. Today, Mariana and her husband Don are the parents of 6 beautiful children, and her eldest son Benedict and her daughter Maria join us here today. Where are they? Come on over. That's great. Over the last 15 years, Room at the Inn has provided housing, child care, counseling, education, and job training to more than 400 women. Even more importantly, it has given them hope. It has shown each woman that she is not forgotten, that she is not alone, and she really now has a whole family of people who will help her succeed. That hope is the true gift of this incredible movement that brings us together today. It is the gift of friendship, the gift of mentorship, and the gift of encouragement, love, and support. Those are beautiful words and those are beautiful gifts. And most importantly of all, it is the gift of life itself. That is why we march. That is why we pray. And that is why we declare that America's future will be filled with goodness, peace, joy, dignity, and life for every child of God. Thank you to the March for Life special special people, and we are with you all the way. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you can see, you have a group here who is greatly appreciative of the policies that you are enacting to protect the unborn in the United States of America. And now it is my very happy privilege to be joined by several members here on stage, several members of our pro-life Congress.
What a crowd! This is so exciting. You know what? It's so exciting to see so many young people here today. Your energy is so infectious. You know, I've been participating in the March for Life for years, and there's one thing that had always struck me, and there's one thing that strikes me again right now, and that is the vigor and the enthusiasm of the pro-life movement. Looking out on this crowd, I can see there are people from all ages, all walks of life, because truth is on our side. Life begins at conception. Do you know why the pro-life movement is on the rise? Because science is on our side. Just look at the ultrasounds that have shown us more about the preborn child than ever before. How they develop, how they react, how they feel pain. And most importantly, that we have love on our side.
Say hey to Jay. That, you cannot cut that. It can't hit the floor.
We believe every person is worthy of love and dignity. That is why the pro-life movement is on the rise.
That's right.
And you know, one thing that gets sort of lost in this controversy is just how compassionate the pro-life movement really is. This is what is lost by all those detractors out there. I am so proud of the work that this movement has done to help women, especially women who have gone through the pain of abortion. This movement helps them find healing and acceptance. I'm so proud of this movement and how it supports single mothers who are struggling to raise their children. How it gives them the resources of phenomenal crisis pregnancy centers around the country. This is the face of the pro-life movement. You know what? We're so proud that the movement and what it is doing to reach out to past and present abortion workers, to help those with new perspectives find jobs and a fresh start. This is true compassion. This is real love. That's what this movement is all about. And it's why the March for Life is such a joyful march. Anyone out here today can feel that. Anyone watching on TV can see it. People come from all over the country. You march with your churches, you march with your friends, your neighbors. You are marching with joy and hope, not with anger and hate. You don't see that on the other side, do you? You know what is so exciting and so blessed here is I get to stand up here with these phenomenal pro-life stalwarts in Congress. Let's hear it for these men and women in Congress. This is the face of the pro-life movement in America. This is the face of the pro-life movement in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. We strive to make our time in Congress a march for life itself. We strive to fight for the unborn, to pass important pro-life legislation through Congress, to work with the Trump administration to pass pro-life policies and laws. And you know what? We're making a lot of progress. In the House, we passed legislation to defund Planned Parenthood. You know, in the House, we passed the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, which restricts abortion after 20 weeks. We passed the Conscience Protection Act, which ensures no one is forced to produce an abortion against his or her will. Religious freedom is the First Amendment. It is the first protection of our Bill of Rights. And just a few minutes ago, today, we passed the Born Alive Survivors Protection Act. It protects the life of those babies who suffer from failed abortions. But most importantly, like the March for Life, we are striving to do this without judgment in our hearts, but with compassion and with love for all of the victims. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here, for taking the time, for the prayers, for the joy, and for the compassion, and for the love that you demonstrate right here in this march. This is why the pro-life movement is on its rise. Remember, these are our most powerful tools against the pains of abortion. This is the pro-life movement. This is one that we will win this day. Thank you, God bless you, and tell everybody, come back next year and bring 3 friends. God bless all you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your presence here today adds to the historic nature of this March for Life, and we are so grateful for your leadership. I'd like to next welcome to the stage a longtime friend of the March for Life, a pro-life movement hero, Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey, the co-chairman of the Congressional Pro-Life Caucus.
Katie, thank you very much. What a Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. What a leader for life, what a champion. Majority Leader McCarthy, the rest of our leadership, the lawmakers you see here, idealistic, courageous, effective, articulate. We have a team that is second to none. And I thank you for your prayers and your assistance in ensuring that they and all of us are able to serve on behalf of the weakest and the most vulnerable. Thank you to the March for Life. My wife and I are just honored to be here again this year. You know,
we kept thinking that we lost Timmy so many times. The best doctor in town did some tests. She determined that Timmy was a mass of fetal tissue, a tumor, and I needed to abort and abort immediately or I would die. But if I had died in childbirth, God would still be God, wouldn't he? But because of our love for the life in the womb, we chose to trust God and refuse to have an abortion. During my tough, thank you. You know, this is all a God story, so he gets all the credit. During this difficult, tough pregnancy, I had no medical care, but I clung to our loving God. And suddenly the bleeding stopped. My husband flew me to Manila, and a wonderful American-trained pro-life doctor saved my life and the life of our son. And when Timmy entered the world, he said, "This is a miracle baby." He said, "I've never witnessed such a miracle because only a tiny piece of the placenta was attached." He was somewhat malnourished though, so we asked all of our family and our friends in the States to pray that he would grow big and strong. And if you've seen him lately, you'll know God answered those prayers. And we're so grateful. We're so grateful for our favorite God story. And God really does save lives. His love saves lives. Well, Human Life International does research on all the different people.
Here! Come and hold. Somebody come and hold these. Come back here. Hold this. Behind it. There you go. Let me get up there. Get in there. Tyler, scoot in. Scoot up, guys. Photo. How about if we do it? Okay, thank you.
Love you.
Want to get in? Oh, give them your. Give them your. You want to go to the front?
No, I'm fine. Where are you from?
Are you from Orlando?
Yeah.
Can you take one with my camera? Come on, Natalie. Hurry.
And so who are you? You're from what? The city? Okay.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Do you want to feel it?
We connect.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm glad you guys wear the identifying cap.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We'll see you.
Okay.
This is the first March for Life I've been at, and I never really wanted to come. Well, just because my feeling is like we're pretty.
My dad has running away.
And when you gotta think about that kind of crap, it's not worth it.
Father, watch your language.
You'll get it.
Oh, there she is. I see her. I see her. There, yeah, she's waving at me. We can.
No, that's still seguro. Huh? That was you? Oh! Why don't we look? Shut up.
Well, maybe we get closer here.
I walked one the whole year with you too.
You guys are part of the march. Stay on the street.
Todavía no han pasado por donde están unos soldados. A tu derecha van a estar unos soldados. No son soldados, pero son gente como que tienen unas cosas rojas en los hombros.
I guess they're shoes.
Want what you got in that sense. At first I was like, why are you ducking?
Relief from the years of suffering, the years of post-abortion aftermath, the years of shutting down my maternal instincts, rejecting my ability to nurture life, to give
So how
birth.
was it? Was it a good march?
The years of being an advocate for abortion, the years of depression and suicidal ideation.
It was really great. Thank
The
you so
years
much,
of
Jay, for
workaholism.
participating.